Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome back to another edition of eHeroes. Today's eHero, I am bringing on Ron Ipach from Auto Repair Marketing, and I know a lot of you guys, the audience, may not, fix cars for a living, but the marketing material and the information that you're going to receive here is just going to be, I, I think you're going to be able to use it anywhere in any business, because Ron is a brilliant guy. Not only that, he works out every day. So I mean, he's got probably more energy than me. He work circles around me. But I mean, what was it? Consecutive 1,100 days of
Yeah,
workout?
1,128 days today in a row.
I think that's 1,128 days more than I did.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it, and I love doing these things, because and you correctly said, doesn't matter if you're fixing cars or not. I don't fix cars, but my market that I market to fixes cars, But the reality is, I'm going to turn off an email here so it keeps dinging here. Um, Marketing is marketing is marketing. What I share with anybody when it comes to how to market their business, I don't care if they get the corner candy store. It doesn't matter. If you need customers, there's a way to get customers. You got to get the right customers, you get them the right way, get them affordably, and sell your services, and then bring them back. So it doesn't really matter what services or what widgets you're selling. You just got to know how to market.
Yeah. And I know a lot of the things that you teach your members is consistency. It's video. It's utilizing social. It's doing a lot of referral marketing and reminders, and it's a lot of things that even most entrepreneurs running their own business don't do.
Mhm. Yeah, and you mentioned video. The video is it's my favorite media that's out there because Lord knows we're not in front of everybody like we used to.
Mhm.
Before. I mean, obviously, a sales letter was always a sales letter, but things have gotten so much more technical now. And technical is the wrong word. Okay, but advanced. So now we're using video, and I know I like to communicate on video because my hands are always going. You'll see these things moving all the time. I got a lot of energy when the camera turns on. All of a sudden, it's boom. I'm full of energy because then my passion comes out. My voice inflection comes out. The how I want to portray myself or what I do comes out a lot more on video. So I'm a major, major fan of video.
Yeah, but the thing about video, and we've talked about this, and I've talked about this to my audience before, is I think that the person behind the camera, which is probably me and you and them, we're afraid. We're afraid of messing up. We're afraid of, our hair not looking right. We're afraid of whatever excuse, you know. And yet, then we say, well, we're not going to do it because we don't want the person viewing it to, give us crap about what we messed up.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest thing, and you hit it right on. Everybody's afraid.
Mhm.
The reality is, look, if you don't like the way you look on camera, realize that that's the way you look every day to everybody else. Okay, so stop being so damn critical about yourself. If your hair's messed up, your hair's messed up whether you're in front of the camera or not. It doesn't matter. The reality is, if you want to be good in front of the camera, it's not a matter of you got to be good to start. It's just you got to start in order to be good. It's the old cliche that you have on there. But if you look at the very first videos that I did, I mean, I looked like that literal deer in the headlights, just scared shitless. Can I say that? It looked like, oh my God, the camera's on, and I'm just, I'm frozen in fear. But now look at me. It's just it was, and it didn't take thousands of videos to get there. It's just a matter of just starting to understand that you got to be yourself in front of the camera, and
You know,
you know
I tell everybody the first 100 videos you do are going to probably suck.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, it's the
but you got
same
to
thing,
keep doing them.
writing sales letters, writing a sales letter, making a sales presentation, picking up the phone and making a phone call. All those things you sucked at when you first started. The longer you do it, the more confidence you get, the more you get past the screw ups, and I typically don't communicate very well. I'm much better when I'm having a conversation, but when I'm sitting here in my office recording a video, you wouldn't believe the screw ups that I have. And believe it or not, I leave most of them in because that's the human side. And nobody wants that polished, slick look. They want to know that you're human. And when you screw something up, laugh about it and move on.
And your audience is a lot of auto repair people who are greasy and they're under cars and they want that information quick so that they can get on with their lives. Not everybody's like that. And everybody, if you say, hey, I want you to do this, this, and this, but say somebody else came into that office and was watching the repair guy watching these videos, that information is going to transcend from one industry to the next, and they're going
Mhm,
to say, "Wow, who is that guy? Who are you watching?"
mhm.
And because they're going to think of you as this guy that's just real and raw and giving them the information that's not polished, which is
Right.
great.
Yeah, a lot of it's just getting over fear. It's a lot
Right.
of people they're scared to speak on stage. Well, they think the video, like what I'm doing right here, is like being on stage, and it's not.
Mhm.
The beauty about it is you don't need fancy equipment like I have here. You've got one of these, right? And there's this magic button on there. It's called delete. And if you say something when if it's a recorded thing and you totally screw it up, press the button and start over. It's not the end of the world. But like I said, I'd just as soon leave in those mistakes because
Well,
it makes, yeah.
it's funny because I messed up big time, and I was used to giving speeches locally to
Mhm.
people I know, and even on video. But this was back in 2014, and I got invited to a conference in Vegas. And I'm looking at all the lights, and I'm like, "This is awesome!" And I'm trying to remember my speech, and I got up there and I flubbed the whole thing. I had to reach in my pocket, apologize to people, and said, "I don't know what's going on. I just can't focus." I just read my whole script, and from that point on, I said, "Screw it! I'm not memorizing my speeches anymore. I'm doing it my way." And from that point on, I would just get on stage, not have an agenda, and just talk to people, share stories, and
Kinda like we're doing here. There's
just
no
like,
script,
yeah,
there's nothing, and it can go where it needs to go,
mhm,
and the beauty of that is, when you're on stage, is you can read the eyes of the people and see them nodding their heads
yeah,
or totally confused. If they're totally confused, move on, do something else.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is that's what's great about marketing, especially video. Because we're reaching out to a whole audience that you know um, could be local, could be in Vegas, could be anywhere.
Mhm.
And so it's just good to be yourself.
Well, and you got to think of the whole idea. There's only so much time, money, and effort that you have, or energy that you have every single day. When you do things on video, when you write a sales letter, whatever, the whole idea when it comes to marketing is not just the one to one;
Mhm.
it's one to many. You do this like we're recording this right now. We're talking right now, but this recording is going to live on for quite a while. It's going to continue doing the work for both of us for
Mhm.
quite a while. And so you do it one time and it just keeps on working and working and working and working. Versus most people, like a sales call, that's a one-on-one. You screw it up, you screwed it up. And that's just on that one-on-one. This can just continue on and on and on. So that's what I love about marketing, and more specifically, marketing to the masses rather than just on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I said, video is just that platform that just you know I think it gives you the opportunity to you're not on stage, so
Mhm.
maybe you're not getting as nervous, but you can be more personable with your message.
Yeah, well, with the times we're in right now, when you think about this, I've been doing Zoom since like Zoom started. Okay, so years and years and years. I've always been having Zoom meetings with my team. My business partners in Cleveland. I'm in Cincinnati. So every week we've been Zooming back and forth. So Zooming to us was a
Yeah.
word before it was a word, that everybody's using right now. Um, but you know, I've held so many meetings. Normally, it's an in-person meeting with our clients in a large room. Now it's this. So I kind of looked at it, and I decided I was going to, since I was going to be in front of a camera, I was going to kind of upgrade what I was doing. So I
Mhm.
don't know if I don't know if people are able to see this now or not, but I did a little investigation. I figured out what's it going to take to make it look really good. It
Mhm.
doesn't take a lot of money, and so I just decided I was going to invest a little bit. I got a microphone up here, and you can kind of barely see the thing, hanging down. I got a couple mics. I got a little hair lights to kind of see, So it's set aside. I got a fancy lens, so it kind of blurs the back. Just all these little things. It didn't take much money, but if
Mhm.
I'm going to be in front of a camera, now this is my new stage.
Yeah.
So, if I'm going to get dressed up, well, I rarely ever get dressed up when I go on stage, but you know what I mean? If I'm going to look good on stage, um, I decided this is my stage now, so it's time to just kind of upgrade that. So, to each his own, everybody's a little bit different. I just figured that this is something I was going to put a little effort towards. And look, if anybody wants to have, I'll be happy to share with what I did. I'll send that over to you, and maybe you can have some sort of a downloadable PDF or something if they want to just get an idea of what I did, because I'm one of those people that when I get obsessed on an idea, I just dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and then I find the way to do it. And I'm also a cheapskate too, so I did it on the cheap as well. So if you want to, just shortcut, just here are the links on Amazon, go buy this stuff, and that's it.
Mhm.
So I'll be happy to share that
Well,
with you.
you have always been one of those generous people that, go above and beyond for your clients, and you'll give them you'll give them advice or ways to do things that others charge for. And that's what I find uh, you know great about you, because it's not always about profit. It's about making sure that your clients are successful.
Yeah, Zig Ziglar said you can have anything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want out of life. And I heard that really, really early on in my career, and I literally lived that. That's why I love doing these things. I talk about marketing all day. I talk about mindset all day. I always say I'm the M&M. Marketing and mindset. Those are the two things that I really excel at, that I love doing, and I can talk that all day, and it draws, it provides energy for me to talk about it,
Mhm.
and that's where where your passion is. If you're more energetic talking about something, and you can do it all day long and have more energy at the end of the day, so that's when you're in a zone. For me, that's being in a zone. So I've always looked at it that if I give more of myself, look, I want to help people,
Mhm.
and I also realize that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So not everybody that's listening to this right now is ready for this, but there's going to be a handful of people that are ready for this right now, and it's going to spark that thing in their head. And or maybe they're going to listen to this 4 months down the road, all of a sudden, boom, now it makes sense because
Mhm.
that's more what they want. So I'll do this all day long because I know I can affect enough people if you continue giving away, giving away, giving away. I don't mind giving away what I do, because it's not the information.
Mhm.
I'll give away as much information as I possibly can, but most people aren't motivated enough to take the right action that they're gonna be able to take. So, information provides, and not that I'm trying to overwhelm people, but ultimately, I think there's too much information out there.
Mhm.
There is too much information. So there are the information seekers that are constantly give me more information, more information, more information, more information, and now they're the smartest people on the planet. They're
Yeah.
also the poorest people on the planet because they didn't take action with it.
Well,
I'm
yeah, most
more,
most librarians are the
yeah,
smartest people I know, and they're broke.
yeah. Well, that's the difference. I mean, there are people that are smarter than me, but aren't making nearly as much money or have the lifestyle that I have right now. It's because I took action
Yeah.
on that information. And I did a talk at one of the super conferences a few years back, and I called it "Too Stupid to Fail," because that really is my motto. I was just told, like Dan Kennedy told me, Ron, you got to go do this.
Mhm.
I just did it.
Yeah.
It was taking of the action. It wasn't, oh, I got to find out more information or more information, more information. I just did it, flew
Yeah.
by the seat of my pants, and I got to success. Other people are getting ready to get ready to get ready, you know? So I'm always there to give as much information as I possibly can. But when the person's ready to take the action, then I work with them.
And I'm a big believer in what Apple and Microsoft do is what they put out a program. It's not perfect,
Mhm.
and then they continue to upgrade it
Yeah.
with new and better features instead of waiting until that product is perfect to release it. They've
Mhm.
already made millions and millions and millions on an inferior product, and now they're going to give you free upgrades.
Right.
Ha- Had they waited until that product was perfect, they wouldn't have made any money.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
And I
just that,
think that's what we need to do when we take action. Just do it. It
yeah.
doesn't matter
So,
about the results. People are seeing that you're taking action. They're going to start opening their eyes and say, I want to be part of that.
yeah, we're in the midst of a program that I introduced people to was the fast lane to $100,000. Okay, so I read something a couple months ago that for most full-time entrepreneurs, full-time, not like the Mary Kay distributor or something, it's a full-time entrepreneur, the business owner. 83% of them make less than $100,000 a year.
Mhm.
And I thought, holy crap, I I couldn't fathom that.
Yeah.
83% weren't making $100,000. So I put together a program. So we were talking about, taking action on a thing. So I put together a program called the Fast Lane to 100K. And it's for my auto repair guys. And I put together a 6-week training that, you know what? I'm doing training number 3 just before it's being released. It's not I didn't sit there and I mean, yeah, sure, I kind of mapped it out a little bit so
Right.
I knew what I was going to do, but it wasn't like I was going to sit there and I had to have everything recorded and sent it off for editing and this and that and make it all awesome. It's like I sat down, I just recorded it, and so this week's module is being recorded after I'm talking with you. And the next week's will be next week. You build it as you go. It doesn't have to be perfect,
Right.
but you know what? We have quite a few people going through that program right now, and they're absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be perfect to begin with. So, and any questions I missed, hey, that's what the Q&A is for.
Yeah.
So if you miss some things, it's like, oh man, I should have recorded it. I should have put that in. Your clients will tell you, hey, what did you miss?
Yeah. Well, off camera, you said that you're starting back your 30 days of 30 videos, and
Mhm.
a lot of people, I think they start to do one or two videos and they give up because the video is not doing anything for them.
Yeah.
For me, even for this podcast, I think this is episode 131 or 132, and the first couple podcasts, probably the first 50, didn't get traction. It was after I got to that 50 mark and people are like, wow, I really like your podcast. There's a lot of stuff there, but a lot of times they'll watch it on YouTube first and then they'll listen to it later down the road, you know, and it,
It, I'm with you 100% on that. And
yeah,
look, I fall victim to this too. So this is my damaging admission that I'm going to give you here is, I started and so probably if you look on YouTube and look my name up around, you probably find a couple hundred videos that I've done. And I used to do this thing called Car Count Daily. And it was like 3 videos per week. And car count is my niche, auto repair guys. That's what they call customers, so
mhm,
marketing. So it was Car Count Daily, and it did 3 videos a week for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just got to the point I started looking at the video views, and it just got so disheartening.
yeah,
It's like, oh man, I'm doing all. I mean, it takes some work to do all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking it's probably the same people watching this thing over and over and over. I'm getting a few hundred views, and I got a list of tens of thousands, and it's like this stuff isn't working. But then when I'm on the phone call with somebody or I'm talking with clients, they're saying, you know what? This is the reason I watch those car count dailies. And that's the reason why I called you up. That's the reason why I'm your client right now. And you start thinking, you see these people that have millions of views on something. It doesn't matter. It's that one view, just that one view of the person that, like we talked about before, that, you gave them that one information, the information that they needed, and that clicked on and said, this is the guy I need to work with.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if you have tens of thousands of views. It doesn't matter if you have 5 views. If you got one person that says, raises their hand and say, I need you in my life, that's all you need. So that's the reason why I started 30 videos in 30 days. These are 2 to 4 minute videos, and they're just, mindset, marketing. Tomorrow, I don't know what the delay on this thing is, but tomorrow is Groundhog Day. So I did something yesterday. I came in the office and I recorded something for Groundhog Day, very specific to that. Most of the other stuff is going to be evergreen and you can use it over and over and over. But and it just popped in my head. The thing about Groundhog Day, and I don't know if you knew this, but when that original, see, I'm all over the place. But the original thing of Groundhog Day was supposed to take place over 10,000 years. That movie with Bill Murray,
Bill Murray.
10,000 years that he was waking up, hitting the alarm every single morning. That's because he didn't have a coach. He
Yeah.
didn't have somebody there to guide him and tell him how to make it a perfect day, which what he was striving to, so he can get out of that loop. Well, I just realized that, hey, this is a coaching lesson.
Mhm.
You got somebody that figured out how to do that. Why wouldn't he just go and hire somebody? But the average entrepreneur spends 10,000 days trying to figure out, how to get his business going. When I'm like, hey, I can tell you exactly how to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
I spent 20 years in the cleaning industry, and when I got out, I thought I knew everything, and I didn't know anything.
Mhm.
And I get into this coaching world, and I'm writing books, and I'm helping people, and I'm learning this stuff all over again. I mean, granted, I already knew the marketing concepts, but it was just getting out there and teaching people was totally different than cleaning carpets. So
Yeah, it is.
you know, we all need coaches. Every single one of us, but oh, yeah, and yeah, it may sound like Ron's all over the place, but we as entrepreneurs have ADD, and sometimes it's hard for even us to focus.
Oh, it all the time. It's from one thing to another to another to another. It just depends on the energy that you have.
Yeah.
And that energy comes from, like I said before, being in the zone, doing something you really love. So I love being in mastermind groups with. I know the other day you had a call with Darren Spindler,
Mm.
and I'm in a mastermind group with him, and when you get entrepreneurs together in a room, I mean, it's just the conversations you have and just boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 and having a coach to guide you, but then, being in a group in a room full of guys that have that entrepreneurial ADD, they're just, all over the place. Just the energy in the room is so fun to be
But
around.
you and I have a lot of the same mentors.
Mhm.
I discovered Dan Kennedy back in 1998. That's over 20 years ago, and we both know Joe Polish. We know all these other brilliant people. And so when did you learn that or discover that you wanted to coach people in the auto industry?
Well, the industry itself came by accident. Okay, so I'll just tell you a real quick story. So, about 1997 or 98, Dan Kennedy came to town with, as he called his famous Tupperware party. Everybody selling stuff from the stage, and that's where I found Dan, and immediately he was talking directly to me. I was repairing windshields, busting my butt, making 13 grand a year. And then you started talking about marketing. It's like, oh, this makes perfect sense. So I just dove headfirst in. The thing didn't have the money to buy the thing. It literally was I had to figure out how I was going to explain to my wife that I was buying this package. I think at the time it was only $247. Um, And I figured, well, I better dive into this. I better make the money back before the credit card hits. And that's literally what got me started with this thing. And pretty soon I went from 13,000 a year to 13,000 a month with my business because I learned a skill that was the most valuable thing I could possibly have. So I got really excited about that, but it kind of topped out what I could do, as far as physically do repairing windshields. And then, do you remember the famous underwear book, with the how to make $3,000 away a day or at your kitchen table
Yeah.
on your underwear? I think that's what it was called. The little yellow book. I read that thing. At the time, I was playing drums in a polka band, by the way, also on the weekends. Yeah, see, most people don't know that about me. I was the drummer in a polka band for 17 years.
Gonna go
Uh,
and join Weird Al's band.
that's right. So um, I'm in the back of the van. We're going from one band job to another. I'm reading this book. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to. So I went and I packaged up all my stuff and I started to sell it to other windshield repair guys. Then that niche was too small. I went to auto glass, and then I was at a Dan Kennedy seminar. Um, and I was talking with another guy, and he says, Ron, you know more about marketing than I do. The problem is your niche is too small. You need to find another niche, a bigger niche to market to. And there's a young lady standing in front of me, or sitting in front of me. She happened to listen in, and she turned around. Her name's RD Skinner. I don't know if you
I know
remember
RD,
RD.
yeah.
So she turns around and she says, you ought to get into auto repair because those guys don't know anything and they really need that help. So I kind of filed it away. I went home and I did a search on the good old World Wide Web of how many auto repair shops there were. And at the time, there were 177,000 auto repair shops. I said, I am right now the world's foremost authority in marketing auto repair services, and that's how I got into it. I mean, that's it, it's crazy how you find that niche. So that's how I got into the auto repair niche part of the thing. But like I said in the very beginning here, marketing is marketing is marketing. If she would have said, candy store owners on the corner need marketing, and if there's 177,000 of them out there, I would be the world's foremost authority in marketing candy stores. It's the same stuff. Most people say, but my business is different. And I say, you're an idiot. It's not any different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and a lot of the concepts that I learned, in my cleaning business, I'm teaching to lawyers and doctors and plumbers and speakers, and and they're like, really, this was originally a carpet cleaning ad. This was.
Yeah.
I just offered on my Facebook, and I'll have to send you one if I haven't already sent it. But it was my award-winning letter from 2012 that generated me, at the time, like $60,000 right away when I sent it out to my existing clients. But I've sent it out to cleaners and other people worldwide, and they've used it and they've generated millions of dollars off this one. It's basically a 4-page re-engagement letter that I would mail out, physically mail, not email, but
Yeah.
physically mail. And people are like, who mails stuff anymore?
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that emails get trapped in spam bots and folders and whatnot, and physical mail still gets opened. So if you're sending out postcards, you're sending out reminder letters, you're sending out, flyers, those are going to be the first things that are being opened.
Yeah. I
So
don't know if you can see that if it zooms in, hang on. Oh, it's not even zooming in. So
yeah,
55,017 emails unread. 55,000. So you're talking to the guy that doesn't look at email. So that's exactly
you
direct
might as well
mail
just
is.
take that off your phone.
Yeah, I should.
But it's this letter. I've sent it out again to a lot of people, and they're like, "Wow, this copy is just amazing, and it just flows, and it just personable, and it feels like it's coming from you." And I think one of the reasons beyond the copy was why it worked was it was in a handwritten font, and people thought I was actually physically writing the letter directly to them.
Mhm.
And so we need to bring that personalization back into our mailings when we're sending out to people because they don't want to see a dear sir, dear ma'am, dear. They want to say, dear Jack, hey, you're, whatever. And it makes them feel better.
Well, right now we're in a world of clutter. There's so much going on in everybody's lives, and you're getting pulled in all these different directions. And I look at it like this, when I tell my clients about personalization, the thing I really like about this thing is, have you ever been in a really crowded room, or remember back when we could be in really crowded rooms and somebody said your name, of all that noise, and there might be a band playing up there, and drinks clanging and everything, and all this kind of stuff, and somebody said your name, all of a sudden, you just like you just zoned in on it. That's what personalization does. It's directly to you. And that's the amazing part about personalizing something, because you're talking directly to that one person.
Right,
Now, it could be mechanically generated, obviously,
right.
but most people, underestimate that. And when you talk about direct mail, I don't know about you, but my mailbox, when I go down in the mailbox, it used to be full every day. Now there's like that much in there, like 2 or 3 letters a day in there. There's no competition in the mailboxes
Right.
anymore. And now post office having some problems with delivery, here in the States, but just take that in consideration with your expiration dates on your offers, and
Yeah.
plan out. But I think this is a great time to be
It
opening in
may be more
mailboxes.
expensive than sending an email because an email is basically free. Or even if you're using a subscriber service, it might cost you 20, 30, 40 bucks, whatever. But, you know, putting a 50-cent stamp on a letter does add up. But when you realize that you basically don't have any competition in the mailbox, your letters are going to be opened. They're going to be read.
Yeah, I don't look at it as an expense at all. And at 50, so we're
Well,
we're
there's a
arguing
lot of people
semantics
that
here,
they'll
obviously.
justify that.
Yeah, that's the best investment you ever can make. I mean, that's the thing that drives me crazy, and I'm constantly banging on my clients of, guys, don't go for the easy cheap way. The
Yeah,
easy cheap way is the most expensive way you're ever going to go, because you could be giving away bars of gold in your email. Just stop by the auto repair shop and I'm going to hand you this 10-pound bar of gold, and no strings attached, and nobody's going to come in,
right.
because if they're like me, 51,000 unread emails. But if it shows up in the mailbox and it's personalized and it's using like a handwritten font, and it's something that makes me want to open it up,
Mhm.
and then they read the copy and it's compelling copy and it feels legit and everything, then you start getting it. So who cares if it costs you $1,000 to mail out 500 letters?
Mhm.
Okay, if it was that expensive, it was $2 a letter, let's just say. If for 500, if it's getting seen, you got a shot.
Yeah.
But if it's getting immediately deleted or never opened up, you have no shot at all.
Mhm.
So, and while we're talking about clutter, I'll kind of give you a big secret of what I've been sharing with everybody is send it out every means possible now.
Yeah.
All media, use a multiple media approach. So that same sales letter, Rob, that you have, what I would do if it was a 4-page sales letter, obviously stick it in a mailbox. Okay, no problem trying to make it into an email. Maybe you have to use a link to a landing page or something like that. Read it on a video,
Mhm.
and make it audio, and post it on Facebook, and wrap it on a leg around a pigeon, a carrier pigeon, and just whatever. Use all the media you possibly can, because with everybody being so distracted, you never know that one thing that's going to attract somebody's attention. So I'm a big fan of direct mail, but I don't go through the mailbox anymore. That's my wife's job. Okay.
Mhm.
So we divide and conquer. So she goes through the mail. Well, if my brakes were squealing on my truck and I needed new brakes, and somebody sent me a piece of mail, that's the perfect mail. That's the perfect, media to send. They hit me, and it's in my mailbox. But if my wife sees it, she doesn't know my brakes are squealing on there. So we don't need any car repair. Boom, it's in the trash. But if my auto repair shop would send me a text
Mhm.
saying they got a special this week, guess what? There's no unread texts here. There's no unread Facebook message, because those are the media that I tend to pay attention to.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's why you don't, unless you know exactly, and you're tracking back to the source of, and a lot of people get really anal retentive about, oh, this person only responds via email and things like that. I'm not that. I'm just like, Get same message out in all these different media, and you're gonna hit them. And you're gonna hit them multiple ways in some cases, but you're getting your message out, and it cuts through the gazillion other people trying to get their same attention.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried sending you 50,000 emails, and then apparently you're not opening them. So,
Ain't happening. Just not happening.
so
But
where do
again,
people
it's
go to find more information about you? And
geez. Well, if you want to just send me an email, or just look up. Uh, uh, just type my name in. Just Ron Ipach. It's Ipach, and put quotes around there so you don't get. It's Ron Ipach in quotes. That way, and you'll get over to my website, which quite frankly sucks. I got a really crappy website. You take a look at some of my YouTube videos and things like that, and reach out to me, and
where
um,
to sell it?
yeah, or send. Hey, if you want to really get it, if you want to get it, yeah, see, I really undersell myself here. So look, you got to work to get a hold of me. So if you really want to get a hold of me, just send an email to my assistant, who's two doors down. It's support@repairshopcoach.com. And those emails actually do get read. So, I say, if you always want to get in touch with me, get in touch with my assistant, because she reads her emails and then she sends them over to me. So that's the way to get a hold of me.
So, why do you even have a phone?
I don't,
You know,
eventually somebody will get, hey, send me a Facebook message. If you're friends with me, send me a Facebook message. But look, it's and I honestly, I live what I said before. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And if you like the conversation we're having here, and you really want to get a hold of me, you'll find a way.
yeah,
Dan Kennedy has his, he doesn't have email. Send him a fax, and he still does that. It's still, you have
just
to
drives
send him
me
a fax.
nuts.
So I learned from Dan. If I make it too easy for people to get a hold of me, uh, everybody's going to get a hold of me. But if you really want to get a hold of me and really want to have a conversation, then let's really have a good conversation about it. But I'm going to make you work a little bit for
Well, a lot of my clients and even my family knows I rarely ever pick up my cell phone. Because unless it says spam,
Yeah, there you go.
then I
Yeah,
take
because
that
you
information
need
and make
you
another
need
book
stuff for
about
your book, right?
it. But so they're texting me constantly, and I'm like, I got work to do, right? I can't just stop and respond to texting.
Yep.
And they're like, well, you don't respond, you don't pick up the phone. So I make it even hard for my family to get a hold of me.
Hey, that's. But if they really want you, they'll get you. They'll find
Yeah,
you, just like anything.
well, this was great, and the audience. If I know that you probably aren't in the repair shop industry, but go to Ron's website. It's repairshopcoach.com. Just learn what he's doing. And don't email him, but email his assistant, or find him on Facebook, and stalk him. You're going to learn a lot about Ron. You're going to learn about marketing. You're going to learn about motivation and mindset. And honestly, watching Ron post stuff about him working out every day, gets me motivated to work out more. Maybe it's a competition, but you're never going to catch me, on stage doing polka. It's just not my style. I'll listen to it, and I'll make fun of it, but not happening.
That's it. Hey, it is what it is. It's I grew up in the
we
thing, but
we
but
all
yeah,
have this uniqueness about us that transcends everything. So,
that's right.
Ron's strength is poker. Mine is sarcasm.
Yes, that's
Um,
right.
so, but it's those experiences that make us unique in what we do. It gives us our superpowers, and gives us the ability to be trusted by people who want to gravitate towards who we are.
Mhm. Yeah, and it goes back to, and let me just roll back because I know we're going to finish up here, but just be yourself.
Yeah,
If you can't be yourself, then don't even try. Be true to yourself. Don't be what other people want you to be. And look, Rob and I are just having fun here on this conversation, and we're being real and more likable, I'm going to assume, and that's, people are drawn to you, and I'd rather draw people that like me, and repel people that don't,
Yeah.
because you don't want to take them on as clients.
Right.
And look, if they don't like my sense of humor, and don't like the fact that I'm a polka king, and all that kind of stuff, if they don't like being reminded to go work out because I'll post that, I'm 1100 some days in a row of working out, if they don't like that, well, they're not going to like me, because that's who I am.
Yeah.
So just be true to yourself, guys guys and gals,
Now,
and just go have fun, and just go make lots of money. It's out there. Just go
and
have fun.
that's what makes Ron an e-hero. And so, you guys, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you, Ron, and guys, have a great day.